Plea deals. Justice behind closed doors. Imagine losing your only child to a drunk driver. You walk into the courtroom expecting to face the person who killed your son. You prepare yourself for finally, after years of fighting the system, a jury trial. 12 people who could finally deliver justice. But instead, the judge tells you, we made a plea deal. A deal you had no real say in. That's how justice is, buried behind closed doors. Hi, I'm Sara Raney. My only child, Dr. Kenley Jean Raney, and his beloved dog Marshall were killed by a repeat drunk driver, Dennis Rodriguez Abeta Jr. I believed we would have our day in court. I believed the jury would see how serious this crash was and sentence him to the maximum 20 years. But like so many families, I was never given that chance. Instead, it ended with a plea deal. Quiet, quick, done behind closed doors. Leaving behind unanswered questions that haunt victims for a lifetime. What is a plea deal? A plea deal is when the defense and the prosecution agree to reduce sentence in exchange for a guilty plea. No jury, no trial. Again, the victim's family has no real chance to be fully heard. For the system, it's sufficient. For a mother who lost her only child, it's heartbreaking. Now, why do they push plea deals? Well, caseload, management, clearing the DA's desk. Trials take months. Plea deals close cases fast and keeps dockets moving. Risk avoidance, fear of losing at trial. Prosecutors fear an acquittal or a light sentence, so they lock in a guaranteed conviction. Victim silence, keeping the case clean. Trials give victims a voice. Plea deals, on the other hand, keep us quiet. Our stories never reach the jury. Political optics, protecting win records. Plea deals boost convictions and stats and protect careers, even when justice is watered down. But tidy doesn't mean just. My case, justice closed off in my son's case. I knew a jury would see the truth. A repeat drunk driver. A crash so severe that my son and his dog never made it home. A family shattered forever. A jury trial could have resulted in a maximum sentence of 20 years. Again, the criminal had all the rights. Instead, a deal was made. I was notified, but it was already decided. My words were an afterthought. That is how victims are erased. And in my case, there was even more reason to fear what a jury would decide. The seriousness of the crash. Dennis, who was speeding at 146 miles per hour, crashed into a parked car, which occurred in a state rest area. Marshall flew 500 feet away to his death. And Kenley, I wasn't allowed to view him. My son mattered. Kenley never had a DUI. He earned 4 degrees in medicine and was ready to dedicate his life to saving others. In contrast, Dennis was out partying, had an arrest record, and was getting drunk. That alone could have swayed a jury to impose the maximum sentence. While I believe all life is precious, the truth is that my son's future and his potential impact on the world made the silence of a plea deal even more devastating. The illusion of victims' rights. They tell us we have the right to give input. The truth, by the time you speak, the deal is already signed. You think you matter, but the decision was made days before. They call it justice. I call it betrayal. The human cost of plea deals. Behind every plea deal is the victim's family who feels silenced. We don't get our day in court. We don't get the truth exposed. We don't get the punishment that fits the crime. And offenders, they walk away with lighter sentences than they deserve. Plea deals protect the system, not the victim. They save time, money, and the political reputations, but they shatter families twice. Once in the crash, and again in the courtroom. I will keep speaking up because my son Kenley's story matters, and so does yours. If you've been silenced by a plea deal, leave a comment, subscribe, and share this video, because the more we speak, the harder it becomes for them to keep justice behind closed doors. I am Sara Raney, the mother of Dr. Kenley Jean Raney. Thank you.